explosion. I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. In the end, you will always kneel.
Remember when I said I was glad that I chose Barbie over Oppenheimer and how I would probably regret that decision? Well, I lied. I definitely regret my decision. What was I thinking? A Barbie movie and a movie made by a director where Tenet is his worst movie? At least I'm right about something. I am the dumbest person I've ever known. Now let's set off this review, shall we? Oh my god, that is the worst opening line ever. Everything is possible, just like the existence of Barbieheimer. History plus physics. Probably my most hated and most incomprehensible subjects for me are being rolled into one and presented to me in a 3-hour sitting inside a hall. The results? Turns out I love history and physics now. That's movie magic. The film makes everything look so cool even when it is just a bunch of smartest people, nerds, talking about things that I don't even understand at all. The way the script is written and how it's shot and edited makes every second so thrilling. The film has no big battles, no big fights or argument, no nothing. It is just a well-written, well-made epic biopic about a guy. Did I just call Robert Oppenheimer a guy? I just called Robert Oppenheimer a guy. I'm sorry. An epic biopic about Dr. Oppenheimer and how he went from a smart man to obsessed with a new creation to ultimately learning the value of life. This is one of those movies where it tells the story of most parts of a person or a few people's life. You know, like A Beautiful Mind, Goodfellas, Blow and all that. Don't really know how to categorize those films, not necessarily biopic because some are made up stories. Just stories that focus on a character or a few characters' journey across a long period of time, sometimes their whole life. This kind of movie is getting less and less nowadays. The most recent one I can think of is probably The Irishman. In this film, we see the complete transformation of Dr. Oppenheimer from an eager young man that wants to learn all the theories to getting a chance at creating something new. Of course, the war does let him justify his urges to continue his invention, but it is mostly his own craving that drives him to go on the path without looking back until he succeeded. And all the people in his life are another layer of him getting created, and the combination of those is what ultimately forms the person that we see in the trial timeline. A man who finally understands the value of life after achieving his definition of the value of life, but now have to deal with those who want to judge him based on his past actions. The bomb. Robert Downey Jr. is kinda the villain in this film. He is a major player only in the trial timeline. Despite the lesser screen time, Robert Downey Jr. finally has a movie where he is not wearing a suit of armor, and he is amazing in it, bringing back the RDJ where he was seen as the golden boy of movies. He is fantastic in the film. With the time he is given, he has to go from an innocent to cunning to feeling lost while continuing to put on a smile type of character. Absolutely amazed by him in the film. Aside from Cillian, he is the absolute MVP. Finally, after all the great work he has done, after playing second fiddle to the leads in Nolan's movies, Cillian Murphy is the lead, and what more do I need to say? We all know the guy can act. This one is just on a whole new level. His conviction and focus on creating the atom bomb is so scary to a point that it is kind of a sickness in my eyes. But he is smart enough to not get sucked into the deep end and still have a life outside of science. And quite a dramatic life it is. Balancing all this is the biggest part of his life, and Cillian finds the perfect balance of them and makes the character cool, calm, smart, and charismatic. The movie looks incredible. It's Nolan. Do I need to say more? If you have any doubt that a Nolan movie is gonna look bad, you're out of your mind. The guy tried to create a bombing session for a film in a time where even gunfire would be CGI in any other film. The editing is also a major highlight, especially the middle of the film where they really start to create a bomb. It makes the process a fast-paced joyride and long too, like a 5 minutes or even more of quick editing that allows me to follow everything. And the psychological issue with Oppenheimer is also directed so well, and every shot, set design and makeup, costumes are all pitch perfect. And a 100 million budget getting all these stars, and you're doubting Nolan. It also has a lot of classic movies elements, but the most prominent one to me is Citizen Kane. Throughout the story, the film constantly cuts back and forth between 3 storylines. One inside a room with panels interrogating witnesses, one in a court for a hearing, and one is Oppenheimer's journey to create the bomb. We get people asking about Oppenheimer's character while cutting back to his life, back and forth. And the beginning of the journey has him talking about something that is being kept a secret, which is revealed at the very end, unlike Rosebud. But that reveal is so powerful and makes the story wholesome. Not much to say. It's Nolan. It's an absolute crime if you don't watch it and still proclaim yourself to love movies. I watched it after 12 hours of work and I didn't feel sleepy throughout the movie. My eyes were wide open the whole time. Absolutely amazing. It does suck that no one was inside the theater hall when I was watching. It was just like plus me, the 6 of us in the entire hall. But hey, the lesser the better. No one is doing stupid stuff to distract me from watching God's work. Nolan is the definition of a hacker. The guy's worst movie, in my opinion, is Tenet. Like, what the f***? He is just like on a whole other level where you can praise this director for making this movie, that director for making that movie. We can be so happy that we finally watch a movie worth our time. We can be relieved when a Barbie movie is really good. For Nolan, it's just another Friday. Just level 102 all the time.
Move along.